Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game between the current rank 1 player, Pasta La Vista, playing as 5E, and he's going up against the former rank 1 player, Axis, playing as 2nd Panzergren. So we'll go through the deck reviews along with the nerfed 2nd Panzer, and then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments in the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Axis, and because 2nd Panzergren has lost 2 AP, which is honestly quite laughable as far as nerfs go. I would have gone a lot further, but there it is. The deck is actually different for the first time in a long time, but my criticisms of it remain almost identical. Basically, the way he's lost his 2 AP is he's removed a card of Recon, which I think was a mistake, really. I think it would have been better to... it's like, this is a 3-pointer. Well, do you want 6 Panzer Grenadier, or do you want 4 Aufklärer, which are 9 guys, and, you know, they still come in a truck, and they're still shooty people, right? Better at it in many ways, and then you've got enough recon, then you've got 1 AP left. I mean, that's the only place you can put it. So, you could up-vet this and bring another one. The reason you don't want one at 2 vet is because it'll aim at a different rate as the other ones. I mean, you can try it, but if you're trying to do like blanket smoke, this one will fire 2 seconds faster than this one. It might mess you up, but there you go. You still got 3 mortars, and now they're vetted, and you know you lost a card of 6 guys in a truck and gained 9 guys in a truck for availability. So that's 36. And what is this? 6 sixes is 36, so it's the same amount of men. As for these Panzer Grenadiers in trucks, I keep going on about how this is a bad idea, but he keeps doing it. That should either be an MG3 squad, because they're really useful, or satchels, because you don't have any close range stuff. Or even Pioneer Carl Gustav, 55 points for 10, right? So that's 5.5 points per guy. Whereas this is, it's about the same. Gotta get the calculator up for this one. That's 5.8 points per guy. Obviously the DMR is very useful, but so is having a better AT and shock and having a better transport. So, yeah. Obviously this is cheaper, right? 55 points, so you can buy like 5 in a minute or whatever. But yeah, something like that. Apart from that, it's all very standard. Yeah, you want the Sultan, it's 3 per card. 2 cards of supply is a bit rough, given, you know, the div's supposed to kind of go late, but... yeah, the big artillery is better than the small artillery. I'm quite surprised he... Well, I'm not really. I mean, it's a good strategy to stack up on the Leopard ones. But, like, I don't know why he's up there in this. At all, really. Don't you want 6 of these? Maybe he doesn't, but I would if I was in his position. And then, yeah, now you've solved your recon problem, because before he didn't have much recon here. AA, yeah, Zwillingers, which is kind of why you can get away with not bringing the MG teams, because the Zwillinger does the same thing but better. It's the best one in the game at killing stuff, by the way. Best AA, Toad AA at killing people, apart from, like... You know, ones you don't really see in more than one division, like that 30mm on Do-Ride's probably better. And that one on 157Y. Anyway, I Hot Gepard, yeah. Big Hot 2 instead of the Hot 1. Yeah, I agree. This will one-shot a Leopard 1. This won't. And then for the planes, right, so these got buffed because the high-altitude bombers got a lot better. So, like, this is really good now. So I'm surprised he still brings this. It does more damage to armor, but, you know, this reloads in 90 seconds and it's more survivable and so on. Seed in this game doesn't really work properly, but there it is. And yeah, this thing's kind of lethargic, it misses a lot. I prefer this now with the high altitude bomber buff, but there it is. Switch it to his opponent, we got Pasta, the rank 1 player. The rank 1 player, look, he's there, that's him. And there's Axis, rank 15, so very high level game. Ignore me at rank 31. That's because I've been rank 1 3 times, that's what that means. 5e, still very strong. As you can see, the rank 1 players playing it, right? 3 cards of supply can make sense, especially because like this thing has a 6 salvo length. It really does mess you up on your supply. You run out of supply quite quickly. And then yeah, 3 per card CV. I mean, this is only 60 points, but it's only 2 per card. If it was like 40 or something, I'd go for it. But and then okay, so 3, 4, 5, 7 CVs. That's fairly standard. Milan 2's in the VAB Milan. This can be useful as well, but this is faster, I suppose. It's just this'll, because it's got bad stealth, they'll see it and it'll, if it gets shot, it'll die in 1 hit. Whereas this has 3 armor, so if it gets shot at max range by a tank gun, it actually tends to survive, and it's got smoke, so I prefer this. Obviously, this gets there faster. It's also cheaper. Commandos in the car, I don't agree with. I prefer commandos in the helo, so you can do a heli rush, but he's not actually brought the helo recon. But you can still do the heli rush if you open with like a plane or whatever, and you'll have these, which should be at 2 vet, because this is the chance of hitting once in the first salvo of 10 bullets, right? Now it's double. Grenadier, Voltigeurs, Appelas, and then just a bunch of VAB guys. He doesn't actually bring any of the IFVs. This for 30 points is really quite nice, but yeah, I'm quite surprised by that, actually. I mean, because if you want wheeled infantry, you've got it. So why isn't this coming in the IFV? Also, where's the MMG teams? Also, Escorte PC, kind of a nice deal. Doesn't have AT, but 35 points instead of 50. Right. Means you can get this for 65. And it's got more availability. Yeah, it's nice to have this because like you want a sponge infantry anyway, right? 8 guys for 35 is the cheapest you've got. Alp 1 and then self-propelled mortars for smokes that can move around much better than the Toad one. And then yeah, just like a Gorillion B2s because you can. No AMX hot is a shame. But if you can't fit it in, you can't fit it in. It's just the hot 2. It's sort of like the Jaguar but not as good. Because it's got less armor. But, you know, we now have a 24 AP. Well, I suppose this is only 17 on this, but yeah, it is what it is. This div got some slot nerfs as well, and it was like, this lost like 7 AP, and it's still rank 1 division, right? Whereas 2nd Panzer is better, and it lost 2. So Blinde, so these are at 1 vet, which I don't really agree with, because I like buying load, because the whole point of this is like, if it gets shot, it just explodes, so you don't really need to resist suppression. What you can do is down vet this, delete this, and bring the recon helo, but yeah. 2-pointer. Dragon Paras, yeah, and he brings it in this one, which is a mistake because this goes faster. So it'll get there faster, right? Don't think he's noticed that, because obviously it's completely nonsensical. You attach a machine gun to the truck and it goes faster. And given that this is your forward deployment, don't you want it to get there first? And, you know, then you want the 50 cal to help win the fight. So very surprised he brings it in the wrong transport. And then Eclairs, which he does bring in this one, which is sort of less necessary, but there it is. Roll 3, Tarask Minstrel. This, unironically, you want at 2 vet, otherwise it just doesn't do anything. Not even bothering with the VAB T20. I could understand it if you've got this. It's a 1-pointer. Gazelle Cannons, Gazelle Hots. Yeah, I spoke about how this should be at 2 vet. And then only 1 card of Fighters is rough, but since the nerfs you have to make concessions, and this is a... This drops its bombs much better now because of the changes to high altitude bombers. This is 3 per card, which is pretty mad really for what it is. 60% accuracy, like why is it 3 per card? Anyway, this could also kill 2 top armor tanks and so on because it's a dive bomber. So that's it for the deck reviews. Now we'll go to the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Alright, so with that out of the way, 2nd Panzergren only receiving a 2 AP slot nerf is a bit unfortunate. I think that Axis has built his deck in such a way that he kind of suffers a bit too much from it. Like, he doesn't have enough recon, and he could just swap out one of his infantry cards for a recon fighting infantry card, and then get more recon and still retain the same capability. but, you know, you've seen that in the deck review. 5e was nerfed a lot more. This was longer ago, but it lost like 6 or 7 AP. And, oh man, I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, let's go through the deployments. So we got Pasta with the VLRAs, which he's brought in the wrong transport, because this without a gun, it's the same thing, right? So here you've got a truck. This is, oh look, I'm showing you again for all the people that I know skip the deck review. And then this is the truck with the machine gun. Okay, 90 kilometers an hour road speed. Am I in the way of that? I am. 90 kilometers an hour road speed, right? 100 kilometers an hour road speed. So there you go. Hope you could cope without my beautiful face for 5 seconds. So he's brought it in the slow one for whatever reason to save like 10 points maybe. Yeah. So like this Tarask, basically, if he got rid of that, these would all be better. And they can also, this can also shoot at helos at close range, so it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we got some Dragon Powers, and they're going to, you know, the mid and the left and the right and so on. Then we've got 2 AMX-10 RCs, a Sublinde and a regular, going on the left. So he definitely wants to attack on the left, backed up by 2 Tarasks at 1 vet. They should be at 2 vet, really. Try them at 2 vet. 2 Brenai going to the middle, along with 1 Minstrel, with 2 Eclairs. So he's put them in the wrong buildings. This is a church, so you can see further than atheists. He's gone for this one when he could go for this one. And this can see down the entire length of that road, and this can't see anything. So I'm not sure why he's done that. Or maybe he just doesn't know. Dragon Paras. This is why you got to watch the Hippie YouTube videos. Am I selling you on it? I mean, I get you're already here, so it doesn't really matter. AMX-10 RC for the right, Eclairs. Yeah, very, very defensive. Very defensive. He's not even sending, like, because, like, this can't see up there. So at the very least, once he unloads this, and it should be unloaded, like, here, basically, then he should send the gun up to here. Because otherwise, they can actually still get around him if they come down this road. Then we've got 2 more Tarasks and a P4 PC for Bravo Echo. It's not actually going to Alpha, which is very strange. It should go Bravo Alpha and then back to Echo, because otherwise you have to send another CV just to go to this. I think it's better to do it my way. I don't really know. It might not make too much of a difference. Then on the other side, I mean, for starters, he's just completely... It doesn't make much sense, really, because 2nd Panzergren's really gnarly against helicopters at the start. So what he could have done is open 2 jets, because Axis will probably open a fighter to protect his forward deployment, and then 2 or 3, probably 3 Gazelle cannons at 2 vet, 1 for this side, 1 for mid, 1 for this side, and he would just kill all this. He wouldn't have much on the ground, so... Anyway, Axis, he's going for the left with... forward deployed Milan 2 and the recon with the Panzerfaust 3, and also 4 Leopard 1s and a Gepard, 2 Marders and a Racist. Then in mid we got a Lux backed up by more Panzergrenadier regulars and 2 Zwillingers. And then on the right we got a Milan 2 Fallschirmjäger backed up by a Zwillinger and 1 forward deployed CV for Foxtrot. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get a key for my game on Steam. If they fill out the survey, they have to fill it out, otherwise I don't know where to send it. Get the names on the screen, get the videos early, get members exclusive videos. Over 3/4 of the channel revenue comes from the channel joiners, so that's why I shill. Ad revenue on YouTube's basically like useless. I also have certain categories banned, so you shouldn't see adverts for gambling or alcohol, because, I mean... for religious reasons, as well as, like, ethical reasons, I just don't think that's right. But those things pay the most, so... Money number go down, what am I going to do? So, yeah, these guys, they're going to get there first, because they got the 100 kilometers an hour LTs. And the RC... Okay, so it's spotted the Milan 2. Question is he going to smoke, or is he just going to get killed? It's the same on this side as well. Okay, so it just burst down the Milan 2. Now he's got a problem. Right, so this can kill that in 1 hit, and he really needs to just back up here, because if that gets into range... Axis did not open with a fighter, So that helo thing would have worked. He does like his early bombers, though. Does tend to do that a lot. So, well, it could have been well, it was a double kill because the Milan 2 got it. So, yeah, not going so well for Pasta. Nobody's gone for mid, which is interesting. And the RC, yeah, getting almost killed there. The Dragon Paras don't have, they need to pop their smoke. They do have smoke, so we can pop the smoke there. Still paying attention to what's going on over here. But yeah, he can pop his smoke there. He doesn't have to take this damage. But he doesn't have AT, so these can just drive into him. Like he's noticed, oh, I don't have to care. Yeah, so, I mean, it is safe there. This has very poor stabilized accuracy. Tarask went down on the right to the Milan 2. Pasta's moving into mid. Another bomber. Oh, this is a fighter. So Axis has received no reinforcements for 2 minutes because he bought 2 planes, whereas Pasta is buying units on the ground. So the RC, because of its lower cohesion, didn't even aim there. This guy can smoke, right, and it would keep him alive for longer, and then, you know, it'll just slow the enemy down. But basically, Pasta's lost alpha here. This is not great. But he's the rank 1 player, so I'm sure he could pull it back. And we got Brenner. Yeah, because on the right he's doing well, right? You'll notice this is behind the building. Well, kind of. He didn't do a good job of it. But so B2 here, and then, yeah, he's getting some Milans. The question is, like, where's Axis going? Because he's taken this. Because, yeah, if he goes for this, I mean, it's all built up, and that's the enemy reinforcement line, so it makes sense to go right, I suppose. But there might be somebody just up here with an Appalass, and he would kill all this. There isn't, right? But there could have been. So the commandos, they are in cover, and they've got the L-Rack with the side shots on the L-Rack. It won't one-shot it, but it'll mess it up. That missed, which is not great. Dragon Paras could smoke once again. And you see, because this has 5 armor, you really got to hit that a few times. So he smokes some backs. Brenai over here is firing up the hill. Commandos are about to really mess this up. So they get one. This guy really could smoke. So they're backing up now, popping the smoke and so on. Yeah, I don't know what the... Because, like, this has smoke as well, but... Like, what was the plan there? I mean, he took this, but coming up the hill is obviously not going to be a good idea because there might be an infantry, and indeed there is now. He is getting kills and stuff, but if he just kind of stuck here... maybe brought a couple up here, because he knows what's going on here, because he's got guys there, and then he could attack from this way, I suppose. It's kind of hard to say, but on the right, Axis not doing so well, right? The Brenai has got through, but there's no AA here, and the Tornado's back here, so he can't... Pasta can't bring a supply out, but like that was like all blue deaths. It was a massive, massive mistake going up there. He should have just stuck around here, basically, so that they can't push him out. This is the bomber from before, because it comes up every 150 seconds, and he bought it basically straight away, so at the 39th minute. Looks like the B2 will make it out, if it continues to reverse. I mean, it might just reverse into this one. Because, yeah, if this guy came forwards, he could get that. It looks like he'll get the Milan instead. It's 50 points. HE2 looking for a target. This guy did end up moving up, the VLRA 50. And yeah, so this is kind of the thing with 2nd Panzergren. You can do it with 5th Panzer as well, but it doesn't get as many Leopard 1s. You can just very quickly just remass and just bring a whole bunch of shite wherever you want. 5E does the same thing, actually. Gazelle Cannon was purchased there and immediately killed, so he knows about this now. HE2 does get hit, so we won't see that for about 4 minutes, I think. Dragon Paris doesn't have AT, so... Pasta, like, he's got the right one, and he's got mid, so he is on a +1 at the moment, but this is not going to make it. And, like, where's that going? Do you know what I mean? Why not just unload it here and put the ATGM there? What's the... There's no zone back here, so it doesn't make too much sense, really. Sultan going to golf. The other thing you could do is, like, bring it up here, because there's a zone here, right? I understand that if you get it to there, then you can cut the enemy reinforcements. So it's worth trying, and he got spotted, and now he's just going to smoke him back, and that's all good, actually. So it is worth a try, right? They don't have perfect vision like we do. I'm, of course, wearing glasses, but you know what I mean. Got this really weird twitch in my eye. I should probably get more sleep or something. But then what would I blame my losses on? Brennus gets taken out there. It was already at half HP, but he's bought 2 of these now, so Axis buying a lot of planes. It seems to, you know, it's not being punished, basically, past, I mean, I suppose 5e doesn't have the best AA, but rolling 3s are good. You can't really afford to buy them now. This B2 is probably going to go down. It's 135 points down there, and Axis has backed this up with Milan 2s now. There are eclairs in mid, like the B2s in mid are really cleaning up. The issue with these is that so the Hot 2 will one-shot them. Oh, not the Brennus, though. Oh, it's a shame that didn't hit, because the Brennus has ERA, so it can survive. It's got the equivalent of 11 armor. It just wasn't fast enough there. That's Sultan going down on the right to the Gazelle Hot. And now he buys another plane. I mean, this to what? To kill... I mean, I suppose the Leopard 1s would have died. Yeah, Axis buying too many planes, really. So his ground game's like... He's basically got no units, right? Compared to his opponent, he really doesn't have many units. I admit his opponent doesn't have many either, but... Buying too many planes. Double Tarasco's down there again. He's finally brought something that'll actually do something. Another Minstrel for mid. So, yeah, Red's... I mean, I suppose... I'd say he's happy with the status quo, but obviously this is not really his zone. And once Blue takes that, Blue will be on a +1. So Red needs to sort this out. So he's going with the Gazelles again, because the last one's got taken out by the Tornado, so he doesn't actually know about this. Although it has fired at something. So yeah, I was going to say, like, can't you send the Brennus down here? Also, he needs a CV for mid. Oh, he loses a command. Ah, oh, it's a terrible, terrible gameplay. He just, wow, that couldn't have gone any worse. So that's 85 points plus 270 points, all just dying. So, you know, 300-something points dying in the blink of an eye, right? And the world just watched. Tomorrow there will be no shortage of people dying to Milan 2s. There goes another one. Yeah, hate to see it. So, Gazelle Cannon's going to get... I mean, yeah, I'm really... The Gazelle Cannon, probably not a good purchase given the state of the enemy Air Force. But he just flew directly over a Rowan 3 there. And because it's radar, the accuracy increases with a reduced range. So that second shot would have been very high accuracy. So yeah, both players struggling with the pace of the game. Really struggling with the pace of the game. But yeah, I'm surprised Red doesn't have a CV for mid. Given that he's just lost over here, he needs to cap this zone, otherwise he'll be on a negative. Bopar should get taken out by the Minstrel. It's got a lot of AA now. What he really needs is 2 Roland 2s back here, and then play around mid, and then the planes will fly over the Roland 3s, not Roland 2s. It doesn't have Roland 2s. Can this... Okay, it was cut by the LOS there. So, P4 PC going into the edge of Alpha, well, why not in the zone that you actually control, as opposed to just driving into the enemy and dying? We may never know. This has very poor motion accuracy, and if you right-click it on an enemy, it doesn't stop when it gets in range. It just keeps moving towards it, because it's just a... But it only does it sometimes. I mean, as you can see, it doesn't really make any sense. Jaguar HE out here, and F4F HE out here. Now, interesting, this has 4 Ligmas, so it's actually pretty good as far as ASFs go. This guy's probably dead. Tornado's right behind him there. Oh, okay. I mean, it's got 20% ECM. There you go, he hit... Yeah, oh, okay, he gets out. Then he buys another Gazelle Cannon. I suppose he just saw the Gepard die, so... But yeah, there's just so many bombers and fighters that he shouldn't really be doing this. This is in a great spot. That's a really good spot. He just drives in and immediately dies there. So this should go down here. There's 2 Minstrels. One's already fired, the other one gets it. I don't think the accuracy of these increases with reduced range because of its fire and forget. I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, Blue's still on the +1. Both sides completely bleeding out. If Red just played a little bit slower and bought the second Roland, which is now coming in, then Blue would just lose all his planes. And Red wouldn't lose too much for it, but instead he's losing a lot to these planes. So yeah, the AMX-30B2s are quite nice at close range, or medium range I suppose you could say, because of the autocannon. And the autocannon's got like a mega high accuracy. So really chewing through those infantry squads. The issue of course is it dies in one shot to a Milan 2. The VLRA 50 has been taken out. Was this going for the VLRA 50? That's... Oh no, I see. This is actually Axis's supply. It's just been captured somehow. So I don't know if he's like using it to scout or something. What takes precedence? Because this is a capturable transport, so is this. So do they capture each other, or does it just do nothing? I guess we're about to find out. It's interesting that. So the AA in mid is doing work. I mean, obviously that just all missed, which is pretty crazy, but now he needs to move the buildings or they'll die. The commandos are getting messed up though. There's Villingers and stuff, yeah, I mean, second Panzergren is the better div. It didn't used to be, but 5E's nerfs actually nerfed it, so... Right, here we go, we're going to find out now. No, they just drive past each other. I suppose it makes sense, right? It's the fairest outcome. That was an expensive loss. And he surely knew that was there, because he just lost his Leopard 1, but guess not. So, HE2 misses, and yeah, you'd really expect this to die here. I mean, what? This thing has dodged so many missiles, because that's the same one. So it dodged 4, and then this fired 2, and this fired 2, so 5, 6, 7, because 1 hit, 8, 9. So it dodged 9 missiles from a very high accuracy AA. What can I say? B2 gets killed by the Milan 2 there. And yeah, it's starting to look a bit not great for Red. Just the sheer quantity of units that second Panzergren can bring out. It's really quite crazy, and it can do it for 40 minutes. That was the idea behind the AP nerfs, to make it so that, okay, they can bring out a ridiculous number of units, but they can't do it for 40 minutes, no problem. But they just didn't... you know, it's like -2 AP, it just didn't really make a difference. It needed to be like -5 or 6 basically, then that would have helped. Because then you get them to start bringing less infantry, right? Fewer Marder 1A3 Milan cards. You got to choose between the Marder 1A3s and the tanks instead of just bringing full air tab, full RT tab, full AA tab, full infantry tab, full tank tab. It's obviously ridiculous. But it is what it is. I mean, Pact has many examples of the same thing. 6Y being the obvious one, 20th Polish, of course, 79Y. Neither player choosing to use smoke. I mean, you know, if Pastore just kind of smoked here, then the Zwillingers couldn't shoot him, the commandos could get into close range and just immediately kill these Panzer Grenadiers, right, if he used the smoke. It's a shame. Because both sides chose to bring self-propelled smoke mortars, but they haven't actually bought them. You know, it's very cheap for what it is, a mortar, right? It's quite cheap, so you'd expect the Tornado to win that fight, but I guess it sort of turned around. Something weird with the way Axis plays is he just never seems to bring the Eyehawks. So the last game of his I watched, he just got completely airbullied, and he just kept buying more and more fighters. He just didn't buy the Eyehawks. These bombers kept coming in and killing all his stuff. He just wouldn't buy them. Seems to be similar here, right? I mean, one Eyehawk, or this doesn't happen. It's like one Eyehawk there. Basically, supplements your fighters, covers you very well. Now, the issue with the AMX-30B2 compared to the T-72, or something similar, and the Leopard 1 has the same problem, is that they only have 2 top armor, like the Chieftain, right? Whereas the T-72's got 3. It's much more survivable against things like the M110. Now what you can do is bring this Sultan back here. And sort, you know, put it next to this, because it's not doing anything. Pasta just keeps buying CVs. He's losing on the ground, but he's invested so much into these CVs, and they show up and they just die because he hasn't actually secured the ground. So, you know, unless it's like a mega clutch moment, it's best not to do that. This is the one he bought before, and the Mirage scared off the Tornado. So in the deck review, I said this can kill a 2 top armor unit by dive bombing, and there it is. I did not watch this ahead of time. It's just I have 3,000 hours in Warno, so I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I get things wrong, I do admit. But I do that on purpose for content, right? Anyway, yeah, getting pretty redonkulous over here. Pasta's just lost too many units. It's kind of the same. It's the same everywhere. He's just down on units. And keep in mind that as well as all this, sorry, you need to. You could reverse. Okay. As well, and he knew this was happening because he sent the F-16 out. Well, I guess he was trying to go for this, and he thought this would cover him, and it would have done if he'd got a little bit further. So okay, fair enough. Yeah. So. The Mirage should get this with the guns, actually. And this is where that one Eyehawk would come in. Because it would have fired 2 by now, and even if it had missed, it would have... okay, so this Mirage is probably dead now. Although, this has to turn, and if this doesn't hit, he makes it. Yeah, he makes it. And that's why that Eyehawk would have come in. So, that'd be dead, because it would have been shot at 3 times by an Eyehawk by now, if that Eyehawk was there. And, you know, it's, you hate to see it, etc. So, you'd expect this to die. Yeah, these have very high accuracy. And yeah, those Villingers are a big problem. The way you beat them is with the Brenners, or the B2s in general, because they will just absolutely delete this. But, obviously they're a lot more expensive. And yeah, he's actually... How long has this been here? Has this been here the whole time, or have I just seen that? Because, like, why isn't that in here? So, you don't have to be on a -3. But yeah, 5e, once you're behind, it gets kind of hard to catch up. I mean, you have a similar ability to 2nd Panzergrenadier in that you can just kind of shit out a bunch of very cost-efficient stuff. But you can't do it for 40 minutes because of the AP nerfs. So, yeah, that was a big win when that got done. But 2nd Panzergrenadier, for whatever reason, gets to survive a bit longer. But -2 AP. Okay, so this has been spotted now by the Panzergrenadier. He does have smoke, but, you know, Mirage being sent out to intercept. This is just going for it. If that first missile misses, then it'll make it. Oh, second missile got it. I was right on the internet. I was right on the internet. It's very important. This is probably the same one from before. So there you go. Pasta buying the ASFs has really helped him against Axis's Air Force. But yeah, he's very far behind. He's very far behind. He needs to get some nice kills and stop dying, basically. He needs to give up on this. This isn't working out. Basically, if you're behind, right, don't attack in 2 places, because you don't have as much stuff as your opponent, you know, because you're behind, right? And so, what you can try attacking in 2 places, and then the one that doesn't work, you immediately, you know, sort of fall back or stop attacking, and then capitalize on the one that did work. But generally, you want to concentrate your forces. I believe they call it defeat in detail. Okay, so this guy had moved preemptively. More Marder 1A3s coming out here. So Axis is getting the heebie-jeebies. He's like, okay, I'm winning. How do I lose? Maybe they'll rush this. So I'll put some guys in there. Very intelligent gameplay. I did a 2v2 recently on the channel 2v2 tournament. If you click on the channel and click on live, you'll see it. And in that game I was on... See, look, high altitude bombers. It drops a lot faster now. You just put it in the wrong place. It didn't hit anything, but... But yeah, imagine if there'd been an Eyehawk here. We're now at 20 minutes and he still hasn't bought it. Yeah, so in that game I was on loop, and it's a really good game. You should go watch it. But because a lot of people say, like, Hippie, I want fewer casts, more times of you playing. Just click on my channel, click on the live tab. There's a lot of gameplay of me, which I guarantee you haven't seen all of. And they're all tournament games, so they're all really high level. Apart from the Star Wars stuff, obviously. So that has a very low stabilized accuracy as well, but that was because he was on auto cover. I think it just tried to go into the trees. So I actually have auto cover turned off, but it makes the tanks worse. I was making a point about oh yeah, so in that 2v2 I got the heebie-jeebies. I was like, I'm winning, how can they get back in? Oh, they'll probably attack on the left because nothing's happened there yet, and so I put a bunch of guys there, and lo and behold, they attacked there, and then they were immediately destroyed and they surrendered because, you know, that was their last chance, basically. So this is smart. Even if, as you can see in this specific case, he's not attacked there. So using the Vabs for fire support, very intelligent. You see that the B2s do outclass the Leopard 1A5s. I mean, they cost more, right? So you'd expect them to be better. But... well, yeah, I mean, in this case, obviously, 1 versus 1, it'll win. So the Tornado turns away because he was scared of the Roland, I suppose, and the second Mirage. So he ends up losing. It wasn't really 1v1, it was more like a 3v1, right? Because these contributed... not sure if this one did. Yeah, I think it did. So Pasta fighting over his AA net, whereas Axis doesn't have one. Because if he had an Eyehawk here, that would have launched at that Mirage, and he might have won that fight. And it would have launched at this, but... I don't know, he's just content to watch this thing come around every 2 minutes and kill something and just not do anything about it. Try to use the fighters, right? But he's on a +1, right? Because he owns both side zones. And so now he can just focus on mid. Because if he contests mid, then he'll... well, you know, I mean, he doesn't actually have to do anything. But he can... if he contests mid, it'll be a +2, right? If you're in Pasta's case, you sort of... you got a choice, right? You can attack here if you want. She's basically given up on. Or you can attack here, which actually has more stuff in it. And then this guy's back once every 2 minutes. Still no Eyehawk, would have shot this, right? At this point, you should have 2 Eyehawks, minimum. That got 3 kills. Is he going to buy it now? He buys 2 Gepards. Well, what can I say? That's crazy, man. The amount of deaths he just took there. It's like 10 deaths. And in 2 minutes they'll be back up again because they didn't take any damage. One Gepard, 1 Eyehawk would be the best combo here because the Gepard would deal 1 damage at least, and the Eyehawk, you know, if it hits once is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10, quick maths. But I don't know, he just has some aversion to buying them. So I've seen a lot of his games, he just doesn't buy them. So if you're facing him, obviously, if he sees this, then he'll be like, oh, I should buy Eyehawks. So it won't work anymore, which is the advantage of getting your games cast, right? Tier 4 channel members get the games cast, so you learn how to improve. But like, there was so much here, and now there's just nothing. And it's because he just didn't bother buying the Eyehawks. It's like, he's throwing. We are watching him throw. Because he's winning, right? This doesn't have to be happening. So that does actually get the hit. But, you know, obviously it dies, right? 1 HP versus 2 tanks. He's still not bought it. So, you know, Pasta's back in the game. Rank 1 player, right? Can't count him out. The Panzer Grenadiers are alright in the towns because of the DMRs, but the French infantry get the DMRs as well. So do you see how he moved forwards there so he wouldn't get arted? This actually does have a Sultan next to it now, but he bought another one. He didn't use this one. It's easy to forget about your CVs, right? It's easy to forget. That's smart. So this came all the way around, and now he can, you know, go up to here and kill that. He's just got it, because if this auto sells, it'll go down this road. Yeah, he should have shift queued it up to here, and then shift sold, and... because, yeah, that's not ideal. So, okay. Do you see how the Gepards did 1 damage each there? And if the Eyehawk had fired and hit it, that'd be dead now. But for whatever reason, he just doesn't want to buy it. This doesn't have AT, but this has low cohesion, so it's probably going to miss that Marder. And then die. Okay. None of that happened. And yeah, these guys have been low for ages. Pasta now bringing up the supply. He needs it. He needs these guys now, basically. Jaguar cluster going for the Leopard 2A3 should be fine because, you know, he stopped and then fast moved and IO2 bomber, right? So, okay. Yeah, I mean, that literally just missed 6 missiles in a row, but this guy, he just didn't give it an order, so now it's just going to fly over the Gepards and eat shit, basically. Great. But he didn't die because he still hasn't bought the Eyehawk. Just really doesn't want to buy that. The planes have been coming over here for like the past 20 minutes, so it's like, well, it doesn't move, but well, you don't need it to. So this is where it's happening. One Eyehawk can cover both those zones. You should have 2 by now, basically, but it is what it is. Blue's still on the ascendant, right? And red running out of CVs, right? Just keep sending them in. The B2 got spotted and killed. Presumably the racist saw it. He's still not using the church. It's really weird. I guess he just doesn't know. That was close. And once again, this is going to get out because he bought 2 Gepards instead of an Eyehawk and a Gepard. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. He just bought 2 more. Does he not want to win? But yeah, this is looking really, really rough for red now. He's been attacking like way too aggressively in 2 places, basically. And so he's been losing his will. I understand that with 5e you do have to be mobile, but you know, you attack with the blob in one place and then you move the blob and attack in another place. If you attack in 2 places, it's just harder because, well, defending is easier than attacking anyway, because you don't really have to look, right? You guys just shoot when the enemy comes in range, whereas attacking is very difficult, and if you're doing that in 2 places, it's very difficult. So where's this going? Okay, is he not going to finish killing that first? Oh, he almost got it, and once again this is going to make it out. And once again he's not bought any Eyehawks. But this is going to die, right? The civilian is going to kill it. I'm really surprised he did that. Like, why not wait until you get an infantry in here to make sure there's nobody? Because, you know, what if there was literally anything in there would have killed it, right? Like an infantry or whatever. So yeah, it's not looking up. Engine destroyed crit. That's what you need. There is actually no CV in here, but he had a CV next to his arty, which is what he's sending, and he's also got the CV here. Here you go. So look, it did happen. One of these should be like, oh, that's not great LOS, is it? There's nice, I think, because I think it can still, not quite. Yeah, that's rough. Maybe leaving it in the building is the best move. And you see these engage the VLRA 50 with their machine guns, but they're not quite in range for the rocket launcher. If these swung around, then obviously they'd be firing the Milan 1s, and once this engaged that, then he could bring this forwards and, you know, get a shot in. But I guess he's looking over here. Engine still destroyed. Another plane survives. Needs a like smoke mortar, right? Smoke mortar would save you here. Smoke mortar would have saved that as well, because he could drive it in and these wouldn't be able to kill it because of the minimum range. And there's the surrender. So yeah, there you go. You don't actually need the Eyehawk. So you go Axis rank 15, 90% win rate. He only plays 2nd Panzer, if you were wondering. And then Pasta rank 1. 80% win rate, but he somehow managed to play 113 games since the reset. And the reset was on the 6th of this month. So he's played... That's crazy, man. So, you know, 7, 14, 15, 16... Get the calculator up. 113 divided by 16. He's played 7 games a day since... That's not actually the highest I've seen. The highest would be Sneaky, playing 14 games of ranked a day over like a 3 or 4 month period. 14 games of ranked a day for 4 months. Something like that. It kept going. I just stopped getting track of it. But yeah, I mean, there you go. rank 1 can be beaten. Second Panzergren is just basically unchanged. They didn't really change anything. That nerf was a very depressing nerf. You know, you wait 6 months for a nerf, and they just don't do anything. It is what it is. It is what it is. Have a lovely day.